All right, let's talk about something that can feel, well, a little chaotic. FinOps, policy, and governance. But stick with me, because by the end of this, you're going to see it's really all about one thing: taking back control of your cloud and turning all that chaos into a clear, actionable strategy.
So, does this question hit a little too close to home? For a lot of folks, the cloud feels exactly like this: a huge, untamed frontier with unexpected costs hiding around every single corner. I mean, it is so easy for spending to just spiral out of control when you don't have any guardrails in place to guide the way.
And this quote from the FinOps framework, it just nails it. You can't just cross your fingers and hope for good financial practices to magically appear. It just doesn't work that way. You need a deliberate system to inspire and direct people towards using the cloud efficiently. And that system, well, that's what we call policy and governance.
So, how do we actually build that system? Well, it all starts by making a shift from being a passenger to getting into the driver's seat. It's about creating a framework that actively steers your cloud spend instead of just letting it drift wherever it wants to go. It's time to take the wheel.
Now, it's really easy to hear policy and governance and think, oh, great, a rule book designed to tell me no. But that's not it at all. A better way to think about it is like an engine that connects everything you do in the cloud directly to your business goals. It's the mechanism you use to build a real culture of financial accountability, making sure every dollar spent actually delivers value.
To build this framework, first, we've got to understand its two key parts. Think of them as a team: policy and governance. They each have their own job to do, but as you're about to see, they're completely connected. One really can't work without the other.
And this is just a fantastic way to see the difference. Policy, that's the what. It's a clear statement of what you intend to do. You can think of it like choosing your destination on a map. Governance, on the other hand, that's the how. It's the set of guardrails, the processes, the tools that make sure you stay on the right road and actually get to that destination.
So, what does a good policy look like in the real world? Here's a perfect example. See how it's super specific and you can actually measure it? It's tied directly to a business outcome, which is maximizing savings. This isn't some vague suggestion. It's a clear, actionable target that everyone in the organization can get behind. And here's the governance that makes that policy actually work. See, this isn't just some harsh rule. It's a really smart process. It has automated notifications, a clear default action, getting rid of unused stuff, and a simple way for engineers to say, hey, wait, I need that. It gently nudges people toward the right behavior, cleaning up waste, without getting in the way. Okay, I know what you might be thinking. Implementing all of this sounds like a massive, overwhelming project, right? But it really doesn't have to be. The FinOps framework lays out a super clear, step-by-step maturity journey. You don't have to go from 0 to 100 overnight. You know, most organizations start out in the crawl stage. You're reactive, making up policies as problems pop up. From there, you mature into the walk stage, where you start being more proactive and things get more standardized. But the ultimate goal, where you really want to be, is the run stage, where all your policies are deeply tied into the business and governance is pretty much automated. And this is the dream, right? This is what a best-in-class operation looks like. Policy isn't some afterthought, it's actually woven right into your business strategy. Compliance is checked automatically, and you've got these incredible automated solutions that give you insights and enforce your guardrails without anyone having to lift a finger. This is what true cloud control feels like. But here is an absolutely critical point. This is not just a job for the FinOps team. Not at all. If you want to create a real culture of accountability, it requires collaboration across the entire organization. Everybody has a part to play in this.
And it kind of breaks down like this. Leadership sets the direction. They create the big picture policy. The FinOps team, they're the hub, making sure everyone can see what's going on and coordinating the whole effort. And then, crucially, you have the engineering teams on the front lines, actually implementing these policies in their day-to-day work. It's a true partnership.
All right, so you've set your policies, you've built your governance. How do you know if any of it's actually working? Well, you have to measure it, because what gets measured gets managed. It's as simple as that. And this brings us right back to that policy example from before. The KPI is simply the proof of success. Hitting this target, getting over 80% coverage, is how you know your policy is working and delivering the business value you wanted. It's just so powerful because it's clear, it's simple, and it's tied directly to the goal. And look, these KPIs aren't meant for some dusty report that just sits on a shelf. Their real power is in making compliance visible to everybody.
and immediately flagging the areas that need a little bit of attention. The source material actually gives some great advice here. Just start with a few strong indicators. That's what helps you cut through the noise and drive real action.
So, when you put it all together, what's the big takeaway? Try to think of policy and governance not as a restriction, but as your strategic blueprint. It's the structured plan you use to make sure your organization is getting the absolute maximum business value from every single dollar you invest in the cloud. And that leaves us with one final and I think critical question. Your cloud is running, there's no doubt about that. But just take a moment and ask yourself, who's actually steering? And if that answer isn't crystal clear, well, the good news is you now have the blueprint to go and take the wheel.